Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of GoTigers 247's Film Room. I'm your host, Christian Fowler, and I'm joined once again by former Memphis offensive lineman Gabe Kuhn. So, Gabe, before we get into it, same thing as last week, kind of your takeaways and overall breakdown of this game against Southern.
First half, pretty ugly on defense. I don't think Southern was as quality of opponent as you would hope for. I think offensively they tried and make a conceded effort to try to push it downfield. And I thought Brady took advantage of his opportunities and made good of them. In the second half, however, it sort of slowed down on offense, and then the defense actually sort of flipped that first half and made it look good.
Yeah, that's definitely the best takeaway from the game, because when your defense struggles against an FCS opponent like that, you want them to respond and adjust. So they come out second half, allow 0 points. The only points scored by Southern in the second half were from a fumble recovery and 15 yards. I mean, you can't ask for a much better performance. So it was sloppy. I think that's what happens when you go against a team of this caliber. I mean, They're an FCS school. They're not good. Tend to overlook teams like that. And then you have to correct it in the second half. I think that's exactly what they did.
And I think South Alabama is going to run a lot of the similar things. So that defense is going to have to tighten up. That triple option is going to have to be none when they're playing against South Alabama. They're going to have to tighten up a lot more. So we're into the plays. 3-man front. I don't – did you get what they were doing with this? I don't know what JoJo's responsibility is here.
No, this is something that they did not show against Ole Miss, which is really odd, because you think they would have thrown a lot of different stuff out, a lot of different looks, and like we mentioned last week, they stayed in base for the majority of the game, and it's like they kind of start in base in this formation, and then they randomly throw JoJo in the middle, so very odd and not something that we've seen from them from the first game.
And my first thought is that they're trying to roam him because they run a lot of triple option concepts, but it sort of seems to work against them in this. They cheat a guy back into the box. They just hand off the dive. You got to be able to attack and tackle the dive to stop a triple option. And this is ugly, I'm not going to lie. And it was the beginning of the game, and these concepts are not very easy, especially for a new defensive coordinator to grasp.
Right.
And you see right here, the linebacker, right here, JJ.
Yeah,
JJ Russell gets taken up, and that's supposed to be his gap. He's got to have his eyes and his body in that gap.
Yeah, if you roll it back and you notice that his first step, it kind of starts out right. He starts going right, starts flowing with the play. If he makes his mind up quicker where the ball's going, that play's a 2 or 3 yard gain. So it just shows you that it doesn't take much for a big play to break. And
also, Thomas Pickens could have made this play, but he got hit up pretty good by this right guard and gets sort of put into the ground a little bit. And early in the game, you hope it doesn't happen, but against a team like this throwing wrinkles at you, it's going to be kind of hard. You got to play assignment football.
Yeah, and then your same thing, your safety, I believe that is Londre Thomas. Yeah, Londre Thomas, he flowed completely. And if he's there, it's not as big of a gain, but
yeah.
I mean, it's all discipline. It's something that these guys haven't seen a lot of. They've seen it very rarely when you think about playing against Navy and some of these guys that haven't played at all. When you see this much pre-snap motion and stuff like that, you can see where the confusion comes from.
That right there, what we just watched, is going to be a vital part to what South Alabama's attack is. Cephas Johnson's their quarterback. He can run a little bit. He doesn't throw all that much, but they're going to want to get into this, and they're going to watch this on film and try to attack it.
Right. Getting into the next play here.
Yep. Southern QB.
Yeah, this quarterback, his athleticism really surprised me.
Yeah, you pause it right here. Same exact setup, except Austin Hall's in the box, whereas in the last one, I think Thomas Pickens cheated back in.
Pickens cheated in.
So I think they do the same thing here. And they pull it this time, and this is actually pretty bottled up.
Yeah. No,
Jonathan
Wilson destroyed the
Great
dive.
job taking the dive. And Austin Hall, as sure of a tackler as he is, most of the time, he just misses it here.
Right.
And it leads to a big play. And I don't freak out too much because I think 9 times out of 10 he'll make that play.
Right.
Whereas this one he just didn't, and it leads to a big play because of it. Because when you miss a tackle against an option attack, it'll bite you.
That's what happens. But it is, like you said, it is covered up well. Design right there is perfect. You got your linebacker, quarterback, safeties, pitch man. your defensive ends on the dive.
Yeah,
and if you make that tackle, you play it perfectly. But to see them, have the mindset right, to have not the execution necessarily because he does miss the tackle, but to have the scheme right.
Yeah,
with these next 2 games with South Alabama and then Navy, that it is a positive sign. Now you have to make that tackle because you have nobody else inside with somebody playing the pitch man. But I mean, you can't make every tackle.
Yeah, I think they had it bottled up. They figured out what they needed to do and just missed the tackle.
Yep.
They're going to make it. Like I said, Austin Hall's a sure tackler. Just that time seemed to get away from him.
Yep. And here we go to our first
offensive
play for Memphis. And this is, like you said in the beginning, this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to push the ball down the field. They wanted to prove to people that Brady could throw the ball down the field.
and to be fair,
yes,
Southern made it pretty easy.
I'm
not gonna lie. This first play sort of is a testament to that. You look at this high safety on the 50-yard line. What he does immediately is dive. Okay. Now, I don't know what the corner thought was about to happen.
And he sits.
I don't know what the corner thought was about to happen, but as soon as he makes this cut, the corner lets him go. Easy throw and catch. And, you wish he would have beat him, man. Yeah. You wish he wouldn't have got tackled from behind. But
I mean, you can tell this is obviously miscommunication because this safety's going down. That corner thinks he has help over the top, and he obviously has no help over the top, and it's blown wide open. But concept's fine. It's just a simple play action pass and look down the middle of the field, and there it is.
And this is a play normally under regular circumstances would get you about 15 to 20 yards, but in this case,
with nobody,
when a defense makes a mistake that vital, it's going to be a big play.
But what you're trying to do with that concept, with that that RPO like concept when you're faking to the running back, is you're really looking to make those defensive linemen, those linebackers pause, and that's exactly what they do there. Yep. So execution there is perfect, but definitely a miscommunication in the secondary for Southern.
Definitely. Now, I really like this play. It showed me a lot about Antonio Gibson, and he's a big-bodied receiver as is.
Yeah, 6'2", 220.
So, obviously, just looking at this, it's going to be a 5-man protection up front. I can't imagine Southern's going to bring a blitz. You have 5 wide. You have 5 wide, and the field seems so open that a throw and catch should be pretty decently easy here. But we'll see.
They spaced it out very well, too. They spaced Southern all the way out there.
Yes, exactly. They made them try to be athletic. They had to make them use their athleticism.
And this is such a – I don't know. It's so weird.
I can't tell what their coverage is here. And it looked like this corner to the bottom of the screen on Antonio Gibson just passes him off to seemingly air.
Right.
No one else is there. And you have basically your strong side linebacker trying to cover this gigantic crevice in the middle of the field.
And then your weak side linebackers dropping like 15, 20 yards. If you rewind it to the top, this weak side linebacker on the left side is in the box at first, and then he kind of starts to drop off, and then he just bails like 15 or 20 yards.
You're talking about this guy right here.
Yes, weak side linebacker.
Yeah, I don't know what his position is. I don't know what his responsibility is. I would assume this might have been a tempo play because they were all out of sorts.
Yeah, very, very weird formation. Not anything I've ever seen before, and then you see what it leads to down the field.
I mean, a pretty open window to throw it into, but then Antonio Gibson just absolutely makes a play, does not go down easy.
Too big.
Yeah, great play, and I think that's a lot. I want to see him get involved in the passing game a lot more. That shows a lot about who he is, a big-bodied receiver, able to, have the stick it with his hands and make a play after the catch.
Yeah, and that's something they've needed, somebody to step up opposite DeMonte Coxie. So if they can get a guy like AG to step up and make plays like that, it goes a long way for his offense.
Judging by what happened, I could imagine him and Kedarian will share a lot more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than they have in the first 2.
This
is awesome.
You got to put this one on here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an overly much to break down, but
it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch.
It's fun to watch.
I will point this. This is one of my favorite things. This left tackle for Southern. I don't know how athletic he is. He might be a decent, he might be a decent player.
Pretty big feller.
But there is not a chance in hell that he is going to make it out and kick out Austin Hall here. Like there is no possible way.
He gave it his best shot.
And also, we have to give Everett Cunningham some love here for getting a tip ball.
Who looks like a freaking animal, by the
Yeah,
way.
he's huge. He is a huge guy. But let's play it all the way through. Boom!
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes you not want to throw that swing route anymore.
No, I think they went back to
They
it,
did.
though. That's
They
the
went
thing.
right back to it.
But yeah, there's no way this left tackle will ever get to Austin Hall on this play.
No, and that's the result.
Yeah,
Fun to watch.
And the thing is, I don't understand. With Austin Hall, he's such a heady player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Such
like
an
he's
instinctive guy.
gonna be able to get downhill and read your play. And if you
Right.
try to put some big left tackle who runs a 5.6 on him, there's no way. Like,
Hey, it's
O-line play. I'll give him whatever.
It's
Whatever,
it's
man.
FCS school, man.
I'll give him whatever.
Cut him
okay.
a little slack.
Yeah, I'll give him a little bit.
And this is bad too.
Yeah, and let me preface this by saying this was bound to happen. Like the first two punts that they
It's
had,
like, come on.
I was shaking in my boots for them. I had no idea that it would be two though. There was two block punts.
Two
in this
block
game.
punts. It's just,
And
what
you
are
just-
they're so spaced out, and they just let guys
I
run
mean,
free to your protectors. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I get the spread punt part, but if you get a snap sort of on the money, you should probably catch it.
You're letting five guys run free to two protectors. That's never gonna work.
Oh,
Those
you
dudes
got-
have no chance.
Yeah, you got to catch it, and then he just tries to get it off. I there was no way. Like, I didn't get this, so I guess Rodriguez Clark
yeah,
gets it, and then here comes Keith Brown to scoop and score.
bounces right in his.
Yeah, I was
lap.
gonna say he gets all the love. He gets the love for this play, but Rodriguez Clark's the one who made it. Beautiful play, and I think Norvell might find a way to use him down the stretch. I think he mentioned he will not redshirt him this week. So
I mean, he is a ball player.
Yeah,
Rodriguez Clark does not look like a true freshman.
when you find a guy like that who's willing to play special teams, you got to keep him on, and you got to find a way to get him on the
That's
field.
what makes great teams great.
Yep.
Your starters.
Your best players on special teams.
ask Nick Saban.
Yep.
Damian Harris was on special teams all the way through his career. Here we go.
Let's see, third
We'll get into
goal.
a little bit of the bad.
Okay.
A little bit of the bad for Memphis
Now-
defense.
This play, I can see where the confusion was, but it's just a miscommunication in the secondary between Jacoby Francis
And
and
Sanchez.
Sanchez. And you see Jacoby at the top of the screen coming across with this guy. He's clearly man-to-man with him.
Right.
But when they snap the ball, you'll see that same man gets picked up over here by Sanchez, and Sanchez doesn't stick with his man.
And Jacoby's following out.
This
for his
wing
guy.
right here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, this is
whoop-de-doo, easy touchdown.
everywhere else. They were covered up well. Like when you look at Austin Hall, he has the tight end well. TJ Carter on the receiver on the other side has him covered well. And then, like you said, just that miscommunication there allows that guy to run wide open.
How about JoJo getting chopped and still almost grabbing the sack? Good Lord. That's effort. He still tried to grab his ankle.
Still tried to get him.
But yeah, you want to blame someone, but I don't know who to blame. I don't know if they were supposed to exchange, if they were supposed to stay on their man.
Right.
But this is just a miscommunication that they're going to have to clean up. It doesn't seem like that hard of a fix.
No, not at all. Because, like I said, your coverage everywhere else is pretty good. So if you figure that out, whether like you said, you're supposed to pass them off, or if it's man for Jacoby and Sanchez, it's an easy fix.
Yeah, very easy fix. Now we were trying to figure this out.
This one's a little confusing.
I was very confused.
If you got the offensive lineman confused, then you're definitely going to have me confused here.
So they're going to run a counter concept, which means this tackle and the center are going to pull around. But you have a force player right here on the short side of the field that makes this complicated.
Right.
'Cause
you're
you're
leaving him unblocked.
Yeah, he's unblocked, so he just comes scot-free off the edge. And a counter is a slow-developing play, but this guy attacks immediately. I don't know if in the future they'll check out of it,
Right. or
whatever it may be. But this is a counter concept, and you see, I think do we have the back view of this one?
Yeah, there's a back view on this one.
You'll see here if this edge player is not here, he might have some space out here to the left to
Right.
run.
He might be able to bounce
He might
it.
be able to bounce it and get some space, but when you have that force player on the short side of the field, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
Especially if he comes blitzing like
Flying
that.
out. Yeah, I mean that one's bound to fail from the beginning. Like you said, if you're leaving that guy unblocked, I mean that dude should make that play every time. So once again, could be something that they check out of, or something when they get that look that they go to a play action or something like that. But I think they'll definitely clean that one up.
Yeah, and then where he's taking the handoff from is not normal for a counter necessarily. Right. So I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe this was just a wrinkle they put in for Southern, which Norvell's been known to do. He game plans every week and sort of finds weaknesses and tries to exploit them. So I'm sure they'll clean it up, but I don't know. I don't think it'll look like that again.
Right, and then we go from a play that was not well executed to a play that was definitely well executed.
About perfectly executed. And Scotty Dill did this last week. I think we had another clip last week where he did this sort of same thing where he comes out the right tackle. Here, Scotty. Comes out. He tries to get the reach on this guy and hook him. And when he realizes the guy's not going to let him do that, throws him out. And that sort of makes the play. It widens the hole. And, I mean, Kenny has about everywhere to run. He can run just about anywhere, and there's so many places to go. And once you get hats on hats at the second level, this plays off to the races.
Right. And then like you're mentioning with Scotty, with him making that throw instead of
reaching
him, if he doesn't throw him like that, that's going to end up being a hole because that defensive end is going to fight inside. So it really is smart if you can't reach him, throw him, because if you hold him, then that play's coming back.
I know that's a very taught technique nowadays with the outside zones and everything like that. And I get why. Dylan Parham just gets enough on this guy, sort of in the middle of the screen at the 40, 45. Gets enough on him. He overshoots him, it looks like, and then just sort of gets enough on him. Off to the races.
And Dustin Woodard is just
he
is a force in the middle of this.
How
he is
how many times is he going to be on the PFF?
I mean, it's
weekly.
First 2 weeks he's been on there, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon, because when you can just take a one tech and wash him like that, I mean, he completely washes the one tech out of the play. He works him
all the way down the line like this guy has no chance.
That's why that hole was there.
And that's why Kenny cuts right off of Dustin, because he knows Dustin's going to handle business. And this is just.
Then just finishing it.
Yeah.
He almost gets down.
Oh my God! I mean, angles work.
That's part of it.
And here's a sort of side view,
and you can
sort of see Dustin.
You see Dustin just working in.
And that's not. And the crazy thing is, that's not even a one tech. That's a 2-eye. So in most offenses, they don't ask a center to reach
on
like
that.
Drew Kaiser. I love Drew, but they would never ask Drew to do this. They know that Dustin has ridiculous athleticism, and he can get out there and get it done.
And finish. I mean, he just completely washes it out. Perfectly executed, really up front on that one.
Yeah, Kenny was hauling, man. He did not want to get caught.
No, he can move. He can move.
All right. Big pass play. 2nd and 8. What do we got here?
Yeah, once again with this quarterback, he wasn't great, but he was definitely athletic enough to roll out of the pocket and make plays, and I think that did hurt this defense a little bit.
Yeah, he just seemed to be heady. And try to make the right plays. But what you're going to see here at the bottom of the screen, Joey Bryant on this guy, and he just runs a simple corner route, and Joey just doesn't quite get to it. And honestly, I talked about this. Good play by the quarterback knowing where his help's going to be.
Yeah.
Rolling out to the long side of the field to get that corner route because he knows he's one-on-one.
And it's a great throw on the run, but if you take it to the top of the route where you can see him start his route, you can see Joey Bryant looking in the backfield.
Yeah.
And I think that is where he gets called, because I think he's looking in the backfield.
He's right here, yep.
Yep, number 11.
And he has to shift a little bit, and it sort of throws him off. You can
tell. He's in good position for the play if his eyes aren't in the backfield the whole time. Because, I mean, when you see that, you're probably thinking, okay, maybe my guys are getting pressure. Maybe I can lax off a little bit, and then he busts out on that corner route. So, once again, I mean, Adam Fuller has these guys in great position. They just have to execute all the way through.
This right here is one of the best balls I've seen Brady throw since he's been at Memphis, I think.
This could be Brady's best throw as a Memphis Tiger.
Yep, and obviously we sort of cut out the front side of this play, but Joey just runs a basic wheel route, and he drops it in a bucket, basically. That was a great throw.
That is a money shot. That's 100% a money shot.
He gets a lot of flack, but this ball right here, I don't think you can argue with it. This is a good throw.
Right. I mean, at least to the fans, I know it's Southern. I know it's an FCS team. But it shows you that he can make those throws. He's not completely incapable. I mean, that's from the 30 to the 30.
Yeah.
So
it's not a super long.
45.
But if you have a guy,
that.
who can get a step on somebody and he can drop it in there like this is gonna be good for this offense. That's a downfield pass. Whatever you want to say, this is a downfield pass. And what is the main thing that people say about him is that he cannot push the ball downfield.
It's not a screen. It's not a slant. That is a deep wheel route that's on the money. So it should at least be encouraging to fans.
I can't lie. He actually has thrown these pretty. Like last year, he had a few to Darryl.
Yeah.
On these wheel routes that were pretty nice too.
He really is good on anticipating those wheel routes. And I think him and Joey really just have a good connection.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to see. I think Joey. I talked about it last week. I think he has morphed himself into one of the best blockers, especially at the tight end position in the American. Like he has been
for sure
very good, and we know how good he can catch the ball.
Yeah,
and this is not a good play.
No, not at all.
We talk about O-line play all the time. We talk about being able to pick up blitzes. This isn't even a blitz.
Yeah, this is just straight up 4-man rush.
What happened was somebody went down. They put in Brian Thomas at left tackle, and he's brand new.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
new to this
just
thing.
Got on campus at the beginning of August, so he's new. He does, it takes a lot of time to learn these schemes and to be comfortable when you hear a play call to say, okay, I know what I'm doing right here.
Yeah, and also this isn't much of a scheme. This is a basic pass protection, and it looks like his eyes were playing with him, and he looks inside. He sort of steps inside.
Yep.
And you saw the last play. He did the same. He had the same assignment,
right,
and just did the right thing. This one gets away from him. And the effort, I don't like that. I really don't. I thought it was just not a great effort. And then when he gets beat, he just sort of jogs. And you got to fall on that ball and be very quick to get on it because
there's nobody else in the area code.
Nobody. Because it looks like if you look close here, the center here, Dustin, and the running back, they're running a draw scheme.
Yep.
And I don't know if Brady has to get it out quicker, but I would say this: he's got to get more on him. Brian Thomas has to get more on this.
Yeah, even if it is going out quick, you got to get more than that. That is not. I mean, you're just accelerating him to the quarterback at that point. Oh
wow! I didn't realize it was the same guy who got the strip who brought it all the way back. What a play!
Same guy.
I believe
his name was Jordan Lewis.
What a play!
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good memory.
You gotta
stashing stuff up there. Okay.
You gotta pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
Now
good play by him.
I know the Southern defensive end now. I'll carry that one with me.
We have been waiting to see Kedarian make some big plays like this. I'm glad to see it.
Because I'm at practice all the time. Kedarian is known for making plays like this at practice, so it is good to see him translate that to the field in an actual game. And this is a great play.
Yep. And they pulled Dustin out here for the protection. He's got the personal protector here, sort of just to try to confuse these linebackers and make them bite a little bit. Doesn't work crazy amount, but good throw, good catch. Kedarian makes this guy fall. I mean, I don't know if they're in man or what, but little corner route. Kedarian makes him fall, and
then puts some.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Little head fake. That's all it is right there. Head fake.
I gotta ask. Do you think this is a good spin?
You don't like it. I like it.
No. I think it was good timing. I feel like he doesn't do that all the time. And he's just not used to it.
Yeah, usually they do. Usually spin moves look a little faster. They give you a little bit more momentum. It kind of slowed them down. Look at Pop.
Yeah.
Did you not say anything about? How do you not say anything about Pop's block right here? Come on, man.
Gets him on his heels and destroys him. Good job. That's good work, man. You don't get the ball, and you're still out front leading the charge, trying to get Kedarian in the end zone.
We got two angles
Good job,
on this.
Pop.
Let's get that back angle on this pop block. We got a second angle. Let's roll it through. I want to see this pop from the end zone angle.
Okay. Calvin Austin trying to get in there too.
Hey, they got the receivers blocking that field once again.
So breaks this guy off. Fake. Knows what he's doing.
Where's that Pop
when he
Williams
gets the ball?
block?
High and tight.
Bam!
Ooh, good block.
Put him on his back.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's down the field blocking right there. That's what you want to see from your receivers.
That makes O-linemen respect receivers right there. Stuff like that.
Here
third
you go.
and goal. Oh, is this my favorite? It's at third and goal and a TD from the running back.
Guess what? It's bread and butter, Tom.
Yeah. G power, G lead, whatever you want to call it. The right guard's going to pull around, and get this kick, I think Isaac just gets enough on him, just enough on the hip, and bounces him out. And then there's a lane right there. I mean, that's easy. That's as easy as it gets.
Yeah. It's like we saw, 5 times last week? I mean,
yeah.
They know this play. When they run this play, they're typically going to execute this play. And
they
you
also
get guys second level. Cameron Wilson goes up to the second level. Joseph Dorsey is going second level. And there's nobody to touch Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, I like when they do it in the open field without JoJo as well. I mean, but this is bread and butter on the goal line. People are going to try to scheme this up all they can, but I don't know if they can do much about it, really. I mean, this is a great play, G lead.
Ooh.
Did
Scotty Dill get away with the hold there?
Well, okay. I will say this. When you're down in the goal line, it gets tough, okay? He might have gotten away with a little one, but...
A little
I don't know if that's little, but okay. All right. You can't fault the effort. You can't fault it. He didn't want his guy to make the play.
No, I'm not throwing shade at Scotty.
No, that's definitely a hold.
But he's got the bottom of the jersey. It's not even in the shoulder pads. He got the bottom of the jersey.
That's 100% a hold. But
hey, guess what? They didn't see it.
touchdown.
It was a touchdown. You can't complain about it.
Yeah, and they're not going to catch stuff like that most of the
No,
time.
not on the goal line.
When it's tight.
Yeah, not on
there's
the
a lot
goal
of
line
bodies
like that.
Back view.
Oh yeah.
What did JoJo do here? Okay, one day we're going to come into one of these film rooms and we're going to see JoJo absolutely flat back someone. I can't wait.
Or score a touchdown.
When are they going to hand it off to him?
That's the one I'm ready for. I think they threw it to him once last year.
Didn't he catch it? But it wasn't quite a touchdown.
Yeah. They are. I think this is the year that JoJo scores a touchdown. I hope so. That's going to be a fun one to break down.
3rd and 10, J.J. Russell's sack here. Now, I'm an O-line enthusiast. So I will say this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, okay, on the defensive front.
Yep.
And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the offensive line. J.J. Russell is the back's responsibility.
Yep. And
the back just misses his block. There's no other way of putting it.
He times his blitz.
He times it really well. And was there a play fake? That's another question. If there's not a play fake, this back, I don't know if he has much excuse.
No play fake.
Oh, yeah. He just misses the block. Good job by J.J. Russell, though, getting downhill. And
look, watch his hands. Watch
he
JJ's
plays
hands.
off of it.
He just chunks that back.
Yeah.
Hands on
plays
the back,
off it.
throws
Good
him
job.
down, gets a sack.
But, yeah, this is a 6-on-6 right here. And they straight rush. There's no twisting, no games being played.
There's no nothing.
Come right downhill and get it. And this is something you, like we said in the Ole Miss game, you like to see them actually land some of this stuff. Because they've tried blitzing, in years past, and it just hasn't landed.
Yeah, and actually, both of their sacks against Southern came from linebackers. One from J.J. Russell, one from Tim Hart. So, once again, another encouraging sign. We saw a lot of 4-man pressures get home against Ole Miss, and we saw a couple blitzes land home here. So, really, really well-rounded on their pass rush so far, and I think that's something that we hope to see continue because that's big for this defense.
They are going to need to get pressure and takeaways. That's what they're going to live off of.
And at this point on this play right here, I think Mike Norvell is just toying with Southern because they had no idea what to do here.
I think the play fake completely.
Watch the 2 linebackers.
Yeah,
it
fooled these linebackers, and I do want to point something out. Dustin, look at that. Look at that. This is what we call a snatch right here. When you take the guy and you pull him down because he's trying to lean too much. And that's what Dustin really does good at because he used to be a wrestler, so he knows how to use weight against people.
That center of gravity. He got that low center of gravity.
And you can even vouch for this. When you watch film, a center usually doesn't pop out, but Dustin absolutely pops out.
Yeah, centers are usually just gritty, grindy, doing their jobs. Dustin jumps off the film.
Yes.
That's not a pancake. That's a flapjack.
Yeah, I mean, he consistently gets people on the ground and running from him. It's ugly. But, yeah, right here, linebackers probably, if I am assuming correctly,
have
Joey and Kenny here. And they both get sucked up by they get sucked up by the play fake, and the rest is history. You throw it to Joey here, I think he might get a touchdown too.
Yeah, because you got Kenny right in front of him.
Kenny,
and that linebacker's not catching him. So.
Yeah, that's an easy pitch and catch though. This is part of playing an FCS team. They're gonna make mistakes like this, and you capitalize. That's why you score so many more points.
That's why you score. That's why you run up the score. That's why you score 55.
Little swag. Look at that.
Little celebration in the end zone.
Little prime time action.
Little high stepping.
I like it.
Oh, I wish we could have seen that. Dustin is still.
and this is what we call like a roach.
That's
when you literally put all of your weight on him. Like I don't think any one of his limbs is
No.
actually still on the ground. He's putting every bit of his dead weight right on this guy. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Makes you happy, doesn't it?
Oh, it always does. It's my favorite thing.
That's your favorite. It's seeing a defensive lineman on the ground.
Yeah,
that is
man.
Gabe Kuhn's favorite thing.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe. So we talked about Dustin a lot. Obviously, with that last play that we watched, him making so many good blocks and putting guys on the ground. So as a former offensive lineman, like we've mentioned, it is not a flashy position. It doesn't get a ton
Hell
of love.
no.
It doesn't get a ton of love. But from your perspective, from playing the position, how fulfilling is it when you have somebody's number? Because typically, if an offensive lineman's having a good game, it's going to last the whole game. You're going to be able to be in that guy's head and really control them throughout the game. What is that feeling like?
Nothing beats springing your running back for some big gain. And we got to do it with Daryl all the time. And Daryl was just like 80-yard run after 80-yard run. You take pride in that because you don't have statistics.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have starts, I guess. That's about the only statistic you get. So you take pride in those rushing numbers. You take pride in no sacks allowed, and that's all you can. There's nothing else.
Right. No, absolutely. And then to, like you said, to be able to watch your running back scoring touchdowns because, I mean, it's you that
Go
calls
celebrate
that.
with him. You got to go celebrate.
Gotta go pick him up. That's the offensive lineman.
Yeah,
All you do is pick
jump
him
up in the.
That's it.
Yeah, it gets corny after a while. Though.
It does. I wish
Like at the end of my career, I was just sort of like running off the field. You know,
Man, if we could go back and have a Gabe Kuhn touchdown dance celebration.
That would be awesome. Put me at left tackle for one play, you know.
Throw you the ball.
Yeah, give me a left tackle screen. I can run, man. I got speed.
All right, we gotta
We got to get out of here. Gabe just said he was fast.
We gotta move on from that. Gabe Kuhn's telling us he can score touchdowns now. But Gabe, before we do get out of here, like we've mentioned multiple times, South Alabama up this week. They'll get a lot of pre-snap motions. We saw them play South Alabama last year. They torched them in the passing game. With Evan North at quarterback and Jamarius Wade. They'll be a little bit different this year. Pre-snap motion, they're going to run the football now.
Yep.
That's what they do. So, like we've mentioned with Southern and the triple option and everything, what are we going to look forward to this week with the defense and the way they handle that South Alabama offense?
They're going to have to tighten up on their responsibilities. Last year, Evan North, he threw the ball a little bit. You know, this guy, Cephas Johnson at quarterback, he's not going to throw it. They're going to run a lot. They may, at the most, I mean, at the very most, throw it 20 times. So this is going to have to be an assignment tight game. I think it might be raining. So, you know, Memphis is going to have to come out and run the ball, establish the run, show what they have been dominant at. And I think Brady might be able to get some concepts in. We'll see how the rain works. We know his rain games last year weren't so great.
Hopefully no rain. Hopefully we can stay dry this year.
But if I know anything, they have been, you know, trying to practice and get it right. And trying to get it right, making sure he's fine in the rain. Practicing with wet balls, doing everything. So I guarantee Mike Norvell has pulled out all the stops to make sure that rain does not affect this team.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we've got for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it once again. We'll be bringing you this weekly. So make sure to stay tuned to our site, GoTigers 247. Make sure to watch the game this Saturday against South Alabama, and we will be back here next week to break down that game.
Well, and also listen to me on the TKT podcast with my brother, me and my brother Alex break down a lot of Memphis. You know, we have a couple other local teams. Make sure you find it on my Apple Podcasts.
That's Gabe Kuhn, guys. Go listen to him. But anyway, like I said, we'll be back here next week breaking down the South Alabama game.